Right. The case study for November 2022 is something very interesting for your real life. A case study that you generally get involved on day-to-day basis, very familiar industry. So therefore, this should be a good time to pass the exam. When the pre-scene is not really a very common, usual pre-scene, people will get disheartened, people will get demotivated because you need to put an extra effort to understand the pre-scene. But this time the pre-scene is very, very straightforward. This time the pre-scene is simple, straightforward and clear. Therefore, this is a good time to pass the exam. Now, when I do my normal course, there are steps that I follow. So these are revision only. Of course, we can't do everything that we do there. This will be a very limited revision, but let's try to do something useful in the limited revision. I'm assuming I'll go through the key areas. One of the most critical areas that I do in my normal revision, in my normal program, not the revision, is I start with two steps called, step number one is called KYP, step number two is called KYI. KYP stand for Know Your Pre-Scene, KYI stand for Know Your Industry. First of all, you need to know the pre-scene very well. But you can't get to know the pre-scene unless you know the industry very well. Therefore, know your industry also becomes critical. So we look at know your pre-scene, we look at know your industry are the first two priorities. So today, I'm trying to do a quick session on for you to be familiar with the pre-scene. For you to be familiar with the pre-scene. My mistake, since I'm starting half an hour early, don't worry, I'll be taking only 1.5 hours today. So there will not be any impact for your schedule. We'll cover the half an hour later. So let's try to get to know about the pre-scene. Let's try to get to know about the pre-scene. The criticalness of getting to know about the pre-scene is examiner has always complained about the people who do the exams. Examiner has very few complaints about all of us. One of them is these students, they write pre-planned answers. They don't write the answer relating to the specific situation given. This is a big complaint coming from the examiner. If you're not sure about that, you can read the post-examiner's report. There's an examiner's report available. If you do read the examiner's report, you will be able to see this comment come in very, very often. The students don't relate their answers to the actual practical situation given. They just write pre-planned answers. This complaint is coming because we try to reproduce theories on the exam day. So of course we should stop in reproducing theories, but that's a different topic. That's not my point today. My point today is when you know the pre-scene very well, you can relate your answers to the pre-scene. When you know the pre-scene very well, you can relate what you write to the pre-scene very well. So having a thorough understanding of the pre-scene is absolutely a critical success factor. Having a thorough understanding of the pre-scene is absolutely a critical success factor. You can relate whatever you write to the pre-scene, that will give you a lot of marks. However, you can't just read the pre-scene. You need to live in the pre-scene. What do you mean by living in the pre-scene? Living in the pre-scene essentially means you assume you are part of this organization. To see how we need to do it, we are not going to read the pre-scene. We are going to live in the pre-scene. Just try to see some basic details about this organization. What kind of organization is this? We are a quoted company. Oh my gosh, we are a public listed company. We are not a private company. We are a quoted company. That's very interesting, right? That's very interesting. So what is here? A summary of this introduction. We are a quoted company. Happy Place is the name of the company. When you are a quoted company, you need to be extremely careful. These days, I work as a, not these days. These days, my share price is going up and coming down very, very often. I work as a CEO of a public listed company. When you work as a CEO of a quoted company or public listed company, share price has a huge impact on your all the decision making. It has a huge impact to you personally. When the share price comes down, people will call you and ask what is wrong. When share price goes up, people say, what is happening? Tell me. In reality, you might even not know. There will be a lot of other factors that is having an impact. But when you are a quoted company, you need to be extremely careful. If you have one negative reputation against you, it might ruin everything else. If you have one negative reputation against you, it will ruin everything. Don't forget, social media is so powerful. If you do a mistake, if you have a bad reputation coming from one side, it might go out of proportions in a second. It might go out of proportion in a second. So on the exam day, whatever happens, please don't recommend anything that will give you a little bit negative reputation in the market. Don't allow it. It is not worth. It might not be a big issue. Logically, it might not be a big issue. But the social media will make it a big issue. Social media will make it big. When you try to do the explanation, it might be too late. Not worth giving explanation after the blast, right? Better to avoid the blast. So therefore, on the exam day, you should, whatever the decision that you take, you should tell to the examiner, don't forget we are a public listed company. Therefore, I don't recommend doing this at all. Can you see? When did we become a public listed company? Since 2004. Since 2004. So we are a very famous public listed company. I mean, now we are in 2022. That means 18 years, right? So you need to say, we've been a public listed company for 18 years. There's a reputation that is being built. Such kind of lazy things will create a huge negative reputation. Therefore, I am not recommending. As an example, there's a customer complaint. That customer is saying the small kid has eaten our toys and the kid is in the hospital. What will you do? The kid is in the hospital. The mother is calling and saying, my kid was playing with your toys. Now kid is in the hospital because he has swallowed a small part. What will you do? Go to the hospital ASAP. Stop your board meeting. Stop your sales review. Go to the board meeting ASAP, because when that mother take a picture of the kid, put it to the Facebook, everyone will become very, very emotional. Everyone will become very, very emotional. They will start saying that the kids are going to die because of this crazy company. Share price will come down. Negative reputation will come. So go to the hospital ASAP. Ensure you treat it, the situation. Ensure you pay the medical bill. Ensure you talk to the mother and say, don't worry. Right? Sort out. So we are a public listed company. You need to remember it. We are in a nice country, interesting country called Westaria. That's the country where all the management level pre-seen companies have been there. Westaria. With a, developed country, strong economy, high standard of living. Developed country, strong economy, high standard of living. I thought they are the same thing, right? Developed country, if you are a developed country, economy I thought should be strong. If the economy is strong and if it's a developed country, I thought high standard of living. But they are saying all three words. Developed country, strong economy, high standard of living. Guys, can you see me and hear me? Can you see me and hear me very well? If yes, can you say yes? If yes, can you say yes? Okay. Right. So operations, what do we do? We are a toy retailer. That's our business. Fun. We are a toy retailer that owns chains of shops that sell established and popular brands of toys, which are priced to match lowest price set by competitors. We are a toy retailer. We are a toy retailer. We are a toy retailer that owns chains of shops. So what do you mean? We are a retailer. What do you mean by retailer? We do B2C business. Retailer is we do B2C business, not B2B. Not business to business. We do B2C, business to customer. We are a retailer. It says we are a chain. We are a retail chain. Can you see that word? Owns a chain of shops. That's different. Chain of shops is very different. Chain of shops means we have so many shops all around the country. There are independent toy retailers available. Independent toy retailers will have one location or two. They are in one city or two, right? Even if you are in two cities, we generally call it an independent toy retailer. That is because you are living there. You might have two cities close to your house. You have two shops, kind of a situation. Retail chain is you don't care where you are. You look at the country map. You decide where you wanted to be. You go and start retail shops all over the world, all over the country. That is what you call independent toy retailer. Independent toy retailer. I was trying to say Roy, not Roy. Toy retailer. That's what they do. So now there's a famous company called Toys R Us that's available in KYI. If you go to KYI, know your industry. If you go to KYI, you will be able to see There's a famous retail chain, toy retail chain called Toys R Us. Toys R Us. Go and Google. Of course, they went bankrupt. That's the beauty. That's what is given in the KYI. But Toys R Us is a famous retailer. There are enough other well-known retailers available. We will go into details of them later. So we have retail outlets all over the country. Westoria, we have 120 retail outlets in the country. We have 120 retail outlets in the country, 6,500 people in all the retail outlets, which means average, I think 54 or 57. Average, we have 57 employees per retail outlet, or 57 or 54, 57 I think, right? 57 employees for retail outlet. That means our retail outlets are not very small. That means our retail outlets are fairly big. Anyway, when you become a toy retailer, the size of your outlets becomes bigger. If you are very small, then you don't go and build 120 outlets all over the country. No, man. If you are small, you might do 3-4 small. Since you are big only, you are spreading throughout the country. 120 shops. 120 shops now, you can imagine. Now, I have 6 different outlets available in my business. And I have 240 dealers. Sorry, I'm getting my real world company confused with this. I have 240 dealers. You imagine? I have 240 dealers, 5 different retail outlets of mine. They have 120 retail outlets of theirs. In my business, I always worry whether something will go wrong in one of my shops. I always worry whether my dealers, 240, that's a B2C, B2B business for them. I sell to the dealer, dealer will sell to the consumer, whether something goes wrong. Here, when you have 120 of your own retail outlet, the life is not very easy. Unless you have a nice, proper, established, very good, well-running management control systems. You need to ensure proper management control systems are there within the organization. 120 outlets. You need to have proper management control systems. Number one is what? Strong KPI monitoring. All 120. What do you mean by 120? I mean, that means 120 retail managers. Of course, yes. 120 shop managers. All of them are reporting to one boss. That means 120 people reporting to one boss. Of course, you can't run the company like that. No. We have 5 regional bosses. We have 5 regional retail managers. Each one will have maybe 20 shops out of the 120 shops that one retail manager looks after. So we have 5 of those guys. Those 5 guys are the people who are coming and reporting to the, those 5 guys are the people who are coming and reporting to the, those 5 guys are the people who are coming and reporting to the marketing director or sales director or whatever. 120 shops, you need to have absolutely a good KPI system. In an Excel chart, can you have the KPIs for 120? Practically you can't. Practically you can't. I mean, what are the KPIs? Footfall. What is footfall? How many people comes to the showroom every day? Conversion rate. Out of that, how many people buy the products? Basket value. For a one, what is the total sales divided by the number of invoices done? What's the value of one person's purchase? Basket value. Can you take those 3 KPIs? There are so many other KPIs. Can you take those 3 KPIs and go through 120 line items? You can't. So you need to have KPIs for each region. For each regional manager, you need to have KPI. If one regional manager, if his KPI is coming down, will go into detail in that region. Otherwise, you can't have a meeting. 120. You look at our KPI meeting. You look at our retail KPI meeting. 120 showrooms. You go one through one by one. Showroom number 1. What is the footfall? 15, 20, 35. When you go to showroom number 50, you can't remember what you looked at. It's not easy. So we should be doing the KPI for the regional manager wise. Each regional manager we look at. So there are 5 regional managers. Only 5 regional managers KPIs can be looked at. So if there are 3 KPIs into 5 is 15 KPIs. Right? So we need to have a very good system. Otherwise it will be a mess. 120 retail outlets, we don't know what the hell is happening there. Right? There's a competitor. There's a competitor. Competitor's name is Gleetil. Gleetil is very interesting organization. Gleetil is another chain, another chain of shops like ours. By the way, they have 150 shops, so they are bigger than you. They have 15% of the market, you have 10% of the market. Total between you and Gleetle, there's 25% of the market share available. In our country, toy retail market. When you say toys, all the type of toys, not only the cars, but the cars, but the dolls, but outside the toys for the external environment, and the bricks like Lego. Lego is one of the largest toy companies in the world. Lego is one of the largest toy companies in the world. They started as a card company, the card game card company, and they became one of the largest. They are the largest building block company in the world. They are one of the largest toy companies in the world. So all the toy types taken together, we have 10% of the market share. Gleetle, who is the only other toy retailer in the country, Westaria, there's only one more toy retailer available for the entire country. Both of us concentrate for 25% of the market share. Of course, other than that, there are people who are selling the toys. No, obviously, like what? Like supermarkets, they sell toys. Like the independent retailers, they sell the toys online. When I say online, exclusive online. We also have, I'm sure we also have online, but exclusive online. They are selling only exclusive. So this is the industry that we are in. My gosh, this is the industry that we are in. It's a very interesting industry. We sell toys. Very good. What type of toys? All the type of toys. Oh, very good. Where do we sell? Only in one country, Westaria. Some people might be buying from us and exporting. That's a different issue. But we don't have any retail shops anywhere else in the world. Only in Westaria. Only in Westaria. We have 15%, 10% of the market share. We are a retail chain. We have 120 outlets available all over the country. Westaria, I'm sure, is a large country, a developed country, strong economy, developed country, high standard of living, so on and so on and so on. KPIs, we need to be extremely careful in setting the KPIs. KPIs should be any retail shop, even my retail shops, right? When I work as a CEO of a public listed company, when I have retail outlet, we have the KPI. My retail KPIs will include footfall, conversion rate, basket value, cost of a showroom against the budget, sales divided by number of salespersons available, sales per average salesperson, profitability of the store, and any retail outlet will have certain items we try to push to sell out. Anyone, even if you go to a hospital, it's like the case. Even if you go to a hospital, it's the case. Even in a hospital, when certain items are nearing the expiry date, now don't take this example out of the context. When certain items are nearing the completion, when certain medicines are nearing the completion date, take a list of those and send to the each doctor. So each doctor is advised to see whether we can kind of issue them. It doesn't mean that we will just issue them, but there's thing like that. Any retailer, no, my retails, I have certain items that I have categorized as black items I'll push to sell. So then we do certain things to get, either you change the location where they are displayed, or either we'll give a higher incentive for sales, boys and girls, if you promote those. So when someone comes, they go and show the black item. Customer doesn't know they are black items, right? They're nothing wrong, but certain designs might not be selling very well. So likewise, toys, I am sure we have a lot of old stocks available. We should be pushing them. So that can be another KPI. By the way, don't forget, we don't manufacture. We don't manufacture. We buy and sell. Don't forget, we don't manufacture. We buy and sell. We don't manufacture. We buy and sell. So buying decision is a critical decision available. Buying decision is a critical decision available because you buy, and if you can't sell, it will be a loss for the organization. You buy and sell. Fortunately, in my business, same person does it. Look at my marketing director, Mr. Jamil Ahmed. Jamil Ahmad is a very interesting guy, the most important director on the board in my mind. He decides the buying decision, purchasing decision, marketing and retail sales. He buys, he sells. I'm very happy to see that because Jamil Ahmad is responsible for whatever he can't sell. If you had a separate buying director and separate selling director, it would have been a real mess. Selling director will come and do the presentations and say, these items we can't sell, obviously. Look at these items, see the pictures of these items. They are not the trendy items. I don't know who bought these items. Look at our other competitors. They have quite a trendy items. Our items are quite all. This quantity that we have bought seems to be very, very high. I'm sure we can't sell them. We need to have 50% discount. None of those stories will come now. None of those stories will come. The person who is buying is the same person who is selling. Jamil Ahmad. Never forget his name for the exam day. I mean, of course, you should not remember. You should forget. Your Supin name. Supin is your finance director, your boss's boss. But more than Supin, never forget Jamil Ahmad. Please write Jamil Ahmad's name on the exam day. Don't forget. One of the examiners' complaint is a lot of times the answers are too generic. They don't apply to the specific situation given. So write Jamil Ahmad name whenever they discuss about purchasing, whenever discuss about sales. You can't just go and write it. Before you start the answer, say Jamil Ahmad. Before you end the paragraph, again, don't say Jamil Ahmad. You can't just say Jamil Ahmad, Jamil Ahmad, Jamil Ahmad. But when appropriate, when applicable, mention the name. When appropriate, when applicable, mention the name. Jamil Ahmad is deciding the buying. Jamil Ahmad is deciding the selling. Therefore, one big problem is resolved on the old inventory. However, it will be very interesting for us to calculate. These are management accounting. Management accounting in the real world, not what is in the book. Don't forget, on the exam day, they will not push you hard for theories. The questions will be very, very practical questions. You know the theory, that I know. Of course, I will also go through some of the theories. I know you know the theory. But just because you know the theory is useless unless you know the practical management accounting aspects. Because what will be asked on the exam day are nothing else but very practical management accounting aspects. That is what will be asked. That is what will be asked. So what do you mean by practical management accounting aspects? What do you mean by practical management accounting aspects? You need to have inventory age analysis done. You need to ensure you do an inventory age analysis. Then you need to calculate what the cycle time is. In the sense, when you bring the items in, when you put it to the stores, how many days do you think it will average take to sell? You need to have that number. Maybe 30 days, maybe 40 days, maybe 60 days. So you need to do a toys inventory. You need to do an age analysis. You need to see what are the toys that is available outside that bracket. If it is 60 days, what are the toys available outside the 60-day bracket? That is what you need to go and push hard. That is what you need to have a discussion with Jamil Ahmad and say, Jamil, why did you buy it? Of course you bought it, no problem. Now, how do we sell it? You need to find a solution for the problem available with Jamil Ahmad. So, management accounting, one of the very critical reports available is age analysis of the inventory and see what is the normal expected cycle time. Sometimes item may be selling well, but why did you buy 100 days? Sorry, why did you buy 5 month stocks? Your working capital is tight. Why did you buy 5 month stocks? You should not have bought 5 month stocks. You should not have bought 5 month stocks because your working capital is tight. So you need to argue and see, okay, why did you purchase so much? It's a selling item, so nothing to worry. It's only the working capital. Some items, we think it's a very nice design. We buy 100,000 pieces, doesn't sell. Doesn't sell at all. So you need to identify the aging report, very important management accounting report. All the retailers like us, all the retailers like me, I have worked for other retailers as well. One of the reports that we look at on daily basis, daily basis is to argue the age inventory in the retail outlets. I'll tell you a secret. I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes it depends on the area, even in the same country. It is applicable for this organization very, very clearly because they have 120 outlets. Some outlets, suddenly those products will start to sell. Other outlets, you can't sell them. It happens. Sometimes you might not have a logical explanation. Sometimes you will see the people in that area, they have slightly a different living patterns to the people on the other area. People in certain area, they have very different living patterns. Country to country, people will think very differently. Country to country, people will eat very differently. And one of the countries where we were recently, they need large bowls. I mean, their food is very small. So we manufacture plates. So we thought they need small plates. No. Then what we realize is when you go to restaurant, they take a large plate, put little food and eat. That's their habits are different. Their interests are different. The way that they think are different. So even in the same country, it can happen. Even in the same country, it can happen. It is happening in the same country. It can happen from one street to the other. It can happen from one city to the other, depending on what kind of people. So when you do the old inventory, see what cannot be sold in certain stores might be able to sell in some other stores. What cannot be sold in certain stores, you might be able to sell in some other stores. So you need to be careful of those. You need to be careful of those. So this is very interesting organization to manage. Very, very interesting organization to manage. Buying decisions, we need to be extremely careful. By the way, what kind of toys do we sell? Okay. Now, toys like this, toys like Lego. Do we sell Lego? Do we sell Barbie dolls? Do we sell Rubik's? Do we sell Lego? I mean, that's not your brand. Lego is the largest building block manufacturer in the world. Barbie is absolutely loud brand by all the kids. They're not your own. They're not your own. Are you selling them? That's my question. Are you selling them? Of course you do. Of course you do. You sell the products from branded companies. And you do your own branded products as well. So this is happening all over the world. This is happening all over the world. Now you go to any place, this is happening. I can give examples all over the world. I can give examples from DSI, shoe manufacturer. But if you go in, they sell Nike shoes. DSI is a shoe manufacturer. They are DSI shoes, but they are Nike shoes. They are the best branded shoes from all over the world. You go to Germany, you go to anywhere in the world, they have their own branded products and they are the third-party branded products. They are third-party branded products. The game is for the CEO, for you. Your job is to increase profits. Your job is to increase profit. Your game is to have the right balance. Your game is to have the right balance. Your game is to have the right balance. What do you mean the right balance? If you sell only third-party retail branded products, if you sell only third-party retail branded products, your margin will be less. Because, I mean, look at I don't know, look at any of the well-known retailers, right? So we'll look at the same names that we have given there, so it might be easy for you. Look at people like Lego. If you are trying to buy from Lego, I'm sorry. I want to go to the same example. If you are buying from Lego and selling Lego product, you will not have a very high margin. Because Lego will tell you, look here, we can sell our products anywhere in the world. If you want to buy at this price and sell it this price, they will give you 15% margin for you. That's all. Barbie dolls, you have standard margin. So when you sell third-party branded products, your margins will come down. But the customers will love it. Customers will love it. Customers will come to buy those branded products. So you can't just sell third-party brand. You need to sell your own brand product. What do you mean your own brand product? They're not really well known. You have your own branded building block, not Lego. You have your own branded building blocks, not Lego, under your name. It might be under different brand. You don't need to have all your products under one brand. No, you can't do that. No, you can't have cars and dolls and building blocks and the outdoor toys under same brand. you must be having various brands. So you have your own brand of the building blocks. Lego. You have your own Lego. People won't know that, and people won't like that. It's a new product, but the margins are high. So now, when I started to do this case study, we have partnered with 5 toy retailers in the world. Five fairly, I can't say 5 largest, but the largest are also in the 5, but 5 toy retailers we are working with. And when I work with these 5 toy retailers, so obviously due to we can't go and travel and see, so we had about 8 hour session, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. In 2 days, we had covered 8 hours. They showed their all the operations. They showed all the operations from the purchasing department, inventory, sales, after sales, stores, all that. So then we, on the very first day, they put the cameras on, so we watch it. There is this is what I saw about 3 weeks ago. One entire rack is about Lego building blocks. Towards the end of the rack, they have their own branded building blocks. Not only there, but about 3 other building block brands are available other than the Lego. Lego is about 80% of it. Towards the end, there are 3 other branded building block toys. Next day, it has changed. So, next day, of course, our concentration was not there. But when they passed, I saw in the camera, I said, look here, hold on. Yesterday, it was different. They said, no. They are slowly, their objective is this. They are saying, they have reduced the Lego. So I said, why did you reduce the Lego? And that's the best selling. You can't do that. They said, no, we are not reduced. We have gone and kept it somewhere else. I asked why. You know the game that they're playing. They've been keeping all the Lego for 8 months at the same place. So people who want to buy building blocks will come to this place to buy building blocks. They always come to this rack. They know that's where the building blocks are. Now they reduce Lego. They keep their items, but Lego is somewhere else. If a customer asks, you don't have Lego? Oh, no, we have all the Lego range. Go and buy from there. But they try to push the customer to buy their own branded items. So that's the game that they play. That's the game that we play. That's the game that any retailer plays. So you should know the management accounting that are applicable for a retailer. That's why we always say for you to teach this case study, you should have worked for a company as a CEO. Then only you will get the feeling about what the business, how the business is run. So come back. Are we a profitable company? So you can see whether we are a profitable company. I'm sure we are very, very profitable. We can go to the financials and see that as a different type of toys, dolls to vehicles to electronic toys to non-electronic toys for the small kids like the preschool, action figure, art and craft like clay, outdoor small vehicles that the small kids can go on. So various type of toys available. The toy market of the country, if I'm not mistaken, is 8 billion. Toy market of the country, if I'm not mistaken, is 8 billion. And we have 10% of it. My competitor who has another toy retailer toy chain, they have 15%. So between both of us, we have 25%. Do we have a proper board? Do we have a nice board? We are a public listed company. So you need to follow the corporate governance requirements. Without that, you can't live. You need to follow the corporate governance requirements. So what is in the corporate governance? A balanced board. What do you mean by a balanced board? So I'm not trying to go through in the same order, my dear friends, but I'm trying to tell you, we need to have a balanced board. What do you mean by balanced board? Balanced board means we need to have the people with various different skills. We need to have someone who has finance skills. We need to have someone who has sales skills. We need to have someone who has purchasing skills. We need someone who has HR skills. We need to have people with the proper balance of the skills. I mean, you can't have all the directors to be sales guys. You can't have all the directors to be finance guys. Then it's not a balanced board. So looks like we have a balanced board. I'm surprised how comes we have a chief executive officer, we have a marketing director, we have operations director, So operation director is not deciding what to buy. Huh? Operation director is not deciding what to buy. He is just, even though Monica is just there. What Monica is doing? Monica is there due to some other reason. What Monica is doing? Monica is, even though we call it director operation, nice name, but she's not buying, she's not selling. She's doing the logistic. Logistic is what? Bring the items in, store the items. Property. What is property? We have 120 retail outlets. All of them are lease properties. Oh my gosh. Can it be? The entire 120 properties, the locations that we have, all of them are lease outlets. She managed that. When the lease is expiring, you need to renovate, you need to go and see whether the conditions of the location is good. My gosh, Monica, she look after IT. Generally, either you should have a separate IT director or finance guy look after the IT. I don't know what Monica is. I don't know what Monica is. Monica is doing information technology, logistic, property management. She has various skills. I'm sure she has more skills that we can't think about for her to be on the board with the director operation. We have finance director. We have HR director. I don't know where there is a, I think we need to have IT director. IT skills needs to be represented on the board. We need to have a legal director. Legal skills we need to be represented on the board. So those are missing. Those are missing. So it might not be a very, very balanced board. It might not be a very, for it to be a balanced board, those skills needs to come in. So one of the guidelines in the corporate governance is the balanced board. Other one, CEO and chairman to be two different individuals. We have Michael Anderson, the chairman, non-executive chairman. Michael Anderson is there separately. CEO is there separately. Therefore, two different individuals are looking after two different. Both of them will generally have the same objective. Both of them will generally have the same objective. So why do you need to have two people? Why do you need to have two people? The CEO will be pushing hard for the top and bottom line. Chairman will push hard for the interest of the shareholders. So when CEO is pushing hard for top and bottom line, when chairman is pushing hard for the interest of the shareholders, isn't that the same thing? What shareholders want is top and bottom line to go up. But sometimes CEO might go and take risks that are too high for the shareholders to absorb. That's when the chairman will come in and say, no, I don't think it's worthwhile. So chairman and CEO are two different individuals, and very happily, we have 4 non-executive directors. Unfortunately, can you listen to me? We have 4 non-executive, other than the chairman. Other than the chairman, we have 4 non-executive directors. Unfortunately, not enough, because we have 5 executive directors available. The rule is same number of executive directors as non-executive directors, other than the non-executive chairman. So we need to recruit one more non-executive director as well. You need to have balance. Balance actually cannot be seen from the numbers only. Balance, you need to see whether these non-executive directors are actually adding value at the board meetings. If they're adding value, that is what we want, right? So that's on the corporate governance side. That's on the corporate governance. So this is very brief, very basically the organization that we have been given to study, learn, and on the exam day, we should be able to play with this organization that is given to us, right? This is the organization that is given to us. This is the organization that is given to us. So now, of course, you should be thorough with the numbers. Of course, you should be thorough with the numbers as well, right? Of course, you should be thorough with the numbers. So you need to look at the numbers given in the pre-scene, which is the balance sheet, P&L. You need to look at the numbers given in the pre-scene. You need to look at the numbers given in the pre-scene. So I will not spend a lot of time. But I'll give you a quick summary of the numbers available in the pre-scene, provided I will be able to take it to the screen. So I will look at I will give a quick update of the numbers given in the pre-scene. So you can look at like what is our profits. So you need to get a reasonable idea about the numbers given in the pre-scene. So I found the pre-scene finally. Here we go. So you can go through this pre-scene. I'm sure you will be able to learn a lot if you do go through the pre-scene. This is the financial numbers of the pre-scene. Revenue is 906 million. Profit for the year 77 million. Okay, we are profitable. I'm very happy. We are profitable. So sales has gone up. Can you tell me by what percentage sales has gone up? 850 minus 906 divided by 850 and 100. 850 minus 906 divided by 850 into 100. See at what percentage sales has gone up. Of course, that is available in the KYP, but I'm sure you can calculate quickly. So sales has gone up by 6.5%. Sales has gone up by 6.5%. See what has happened to cost of sales. See by what percentage cost of sales has gone up. See by what percentage cost of sales has gone up. It has gone up from 603 to 635. Divide by 603. Cost of sales has gone up 5.2 or 5.3. Now I understand. When the sales grew by 6.5, please listen to me carefully. When the sales grew by 6.5, cost of sales has gone up only by 5.2 or 5.3. That means GP margins must have improved. That means GP margin must have improved because sales grow up by 6.5, cost of sale grow by a lower percentage. I'm sure GP margin must have improved. So good business, right? Whilst you increase the sales by 6.5%, your GP also has gone up. Your GP also has gone up. Now, wait. I want to clear something. Sales went up by 6.5. Is it right? Sales went up by 6.5. Is it right? But then can you see? Administration and selling has not gone up by 6.5. Administration and selling has not gone up by 6.5. You can look at, you don't need to calculate, 8.4% to 8.6%. Very small increase in the admin cost. Selling and advertising, 136 million to 139 million. It must have gone up by 2.5%, right? Because 136, look at the selling and administration, my dear friends. Please look at the selling and administration. 136 to 139 is 3 million. 3 million divided by 136 should be about 2%. So when the sales grow by 6.5, admin cost increase very marginally, selling and advertising increase very marginally, operating profit must have increased substantially then. Operating profit this year is 102.1 and the last year is 102.1 and last year sales is 850.7. So last year operating profit is how much? Last year operating profit is how much? And calculate this year operating profit 123 divided by 906. So last year operating profit margin must have gone up substantially from the last year to this year. Because when the sales grow by 6.5, a lot of cost element went up only by 2%. So if my calculations are right, what is the last year operating profit margin? What's the last year operating profit margin? What's the last year operating profit margin, my dear friends? Please active. Calculate. Last year operating profit margin is 12%. This year operating profit margin is 13.5%, 13.6%. Substantial improvements are there. Good to see. Finance cost. Okay, my dear friends. Finance cost you can't calculate from the sales domain. You can't divide finance cost by sales and see what percentage. Your finance cost is not a function of sales. Finance cost is a function of loans that we have taken. So finance cost gone up by how much? 20.2 to 21.5. So finance cost has gone up by, is it right? Finance cost gone up by 20.2 to 21.5. So finance cost gone up by 0.7%. Can you tell me as a percentage by what percentage finance cost gone up? By what percentage finance cost has gone up? That you should compare with the increase in loans. Look at the increase in loans, by how much the increase in loans has gone up. By how much the increase in loans has gone up. So you need to compare with that. Oh my gosh, I missed something. All the non-current liabilities are lease liabilities. All the non-current liabilities are lease liabilities. This means the 120 retail outlets that we have, the entire 120 retail outlets are lease liabilities. They have been capitalized based on the IFRS 16. There are old accounting standard called IAS. There are new accounting standard called IFRS. For the leasing, there was an old accounting standard called IAS 7. I hope you remember IAS 7. IAS 7 is now replaced with IFRS 16. When that happened, I have lease outlets. All the lease outlets, I had never capitalized it before. No, I have a retail outlets. I have leased it. Every month I pay a lease. How did I account for it before? Simple, no? When I pay the lease, I charge it to P&L. That is how I have been accounting for it. When this accounting change happens, my CFO said, all the showrooms now we need to take it to the balance sheet. We did. You understand my example, right? If I'm too fast, you should say. I had retail outlets, leased. So how did I account for them? Whenever I sign the payment for the lease, I charge it to P&L. Whenever I sign the payment for the lease, I charge it to P&L. With the new IFRS 16, we were not allowed to do that. We were supposed to capitalize all the lease assets in the balance sheet. That is because IFRS 16 was very, very different to IAS 17 in terms of accounting for the lessee, in terms of accounting for the company who got the lease. They said everything has to be capitalized. So I am sure all the lease assets are available under the property, plant and equipment, all the 120 outlets. The liability is available as 236 million. So these are liabilities that we need to pay for over next 5 years. Not only this year. These are liability we have to pay for next 5 years. Because IFRS 16 said you got to capitalize all the leases unless the lease amount is not material and lease period is less than 1 year. Otherwise, we need to capitalize. This stopped all the off-balance sheet financing that people were doing. This had an impact for us as well. So I am used to the story that happened. Accounting standards, F2 is a critical area. Since I was talking about the leasing standard, there are many different accounting standards available, which you should have a thorough and very good knowledge on the accounting standard. Let me now take 10 minutes to do an accounting standard kottu, where we try to mix all the accounting standards and see what is the fun in mixing all the accounting standards. I will start with IFRS 16. I'll start with IFRS because in my balance sheet, I can clearly see the signs of IFRS 16. Signs of IFRS 16. So let's try to start from that. Give me 10 minutes to do that. IFRS 16 is very interesting accounting standard because it is about leasing. What do we lease? We lease buildings, we lease showrooms, we lease vehicles. IFRS 16 said the old accounting standard was IAS 17. IFRS 16 said no, whenever you lease anything, you need to capitalize. So when you go into your property, plant and equipment, you have lease vehicles under property, plant and equipment. When you go to your property, plant and equipment, you have lease showrooms under property, plant and equipment. When you go to your property, plant and equipment, you have lease buildings under property, plant and equipment. Property, plant and equipment is coming from IAS 16. Don't get confused. Not IFRS. Property, plant and equipment is coming from IAS 16. IAS 16 is the accounting standard applicable for property, plant and equipment, where it says if you buy, you need to capitalize it. If you lease, you need to capitalize it. Is not given in IAS 16, that is given in IFRS 16. I hope you're writing it down if you want, right? IAS 16 is about property, plant and equipment. IFRS 16 is different. IFRS 16 is about leases. IAS 16 will tell you if you buy an asset, you need to capitalize not only the cost of the asset, the amount incurred to bring the asset into the current location and current position, the amount that is incurred to bring the assets to the current position and current location, you need to capitalize. You need to capitalize. So, and the assets needs to be depreciated based on the IAS 16. IAS 16 is a very good accounting standard like IFRS 16. IAS 16 is old accounting standard. That did not change. IAS 17 changed into IFRS 16. IAS 16 is a very good accounting standard like IFRS 16. They are talking about assets. Especially IAS 16 is talking about assets. Tangible assets. Tangible assets. Property, plant and equipment, you can feel, you can touch, you can see. Tangible assets. There's another accounting standard that is applicable for tangible assets, that is IAS 2. IAS 2 is about inventory. IAS 2 is about inventory. So IAS 2, IAS 16, both are related to tangible asset. IFRS 16 is part of IAS 16 because IFRS 15 will ask you to capitalize certain assets. When you capitalize them, IAS 16 will be applicable. Are you clear? Should I repeat that part again? Are you clear? If you are not clear, I can repeat that. Should I repeat? Or are you clear? Say clear or repeat, 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 clear or repeat. Okay. IAS 16 will talk about property, plant and equipment. IAS 16 will say when you buy property, plant and equipment, you need to capitalize. IAS 16 will say when you buy property, plant and equipment, you need to capitalize and depreciate. IAS 16 talked about how the revaluation is done for property, plant and equipment. How the revaluation is done for property, plant and that is IAS 16. IFRS 16 is lease. IFRS 16 will tell you if you do a lease, if you lease a vehicle, if you lease a showroom like I had done, if you lease a vehicle, if you lease a building, whenever you lease something, you need to capitalize it, is said in the IFRS 16. After you capitalize the asset, land, building, showroom, vehicle, whatever you lease, after you capitalize it, IAS 16 then will become applicable. So whenever you lease something, first of all, IFRS 16 will come into play. After IFRS 16 come into play, then IAS 16 will be applicable after you capitalize. So IAS 16 is an accounting standard applicable for tangible assets like the building, like the vehicle, tangible asset like a machine. There's another accounting standard that is applicable for tangible assets that is called IAS 2, which is about the inventory. So those three standards are linked to each other. I told you, I'm trying to mix all the accounting standard into one. So did you see IAS 16 is linked to IFRS 16 and IAS 16 is linked to IAS 2. Are you clear now? Those who said repeat before, can you tell me whether it's clear now or repeat again? Clear now or repeat again? Now, Michael, those who are not clear before, please tell me. Naflan, Warugis, Suvini, Abdul, right. Okay, now it's clear. So this is what is happening. So there are various accounting standards available. IFRS 16 for the leases, which says all the leases you need to capitalize. After you capitalize, the applicable accounting standard will be IAS 16. IAS 16 is about tangible assets. There's another accounting standard on the tangible assets called IAS 2, which is inventory. IAS 2, which is inventory. Then there are accounting standards for the intangible assets as well. There are accounting standards for the intangible assets as well. IAS 38 is about intangible assets. IAS 38 is about intangible assets. IAS 38 is about intangible assets. IAS 38 talks about what kind of intangible assets? Brand value, goodwill, research and development. All those are the accounting standards of IAS 38 will cover intangible assets. Intangible asset examples are goodwill, brand value, ERP, research and development. All those comes under intangible assets. All those comes under intangible assets. IAS 38. However, IAS 38 is very, very simple and clear and straightforward. IAS 38 is very, very simple, straightforward and clear. No complications in IAS 38. IAS 38 is very, very clear. IAS 38 was introduced because people were worried. Because now we say intangible assets. We say we have goodwill, we have brand value. We were worried whether directors will have a directors meeting and say, wow, we have amazing goodwill. People know us. We have a superb name. Why don't we take it to balance sheet? People will say, how much do you think the value is? $100 million. Take to the balance sheet. Value will increase by $100 million. IAS 38 is worried about those kind of things. So IAS 38 was very, very clear. IAS 38 said, internally generated goodwill, internally generated brand value cannot be capitalized, chapter close. Chapter close there. Internally generated goodwill or the brand value cannot be capitalized. The matter ends there. Cannot be capitalized, matter ends there. So you can't decide, oh, we have a very high goodwill, we'll capitalize, we have a very high brand value, you can't. So internally generated goodwill and brand value cannot be capitalized. IAS 38 is very clear. However, IAS 38 said acquired goodwill, acquired brand value, if you pay and buy a goodwill, if you pay and buy a brand value, that can be capitalized. That was very clear in IAS 38. So if you buy a company, when you buy a company, you pay money for goodwill. No problem, capitalize. When you buy a company, you can pay money for goodwill. No problem, capitalize. Right? So there are two more accounting standards related to buying a company. When you buy a subsidiary company, there are two. When you go for and buy a subsidiary company, there are two accounting standards available. What are they? They are IFRS 3 and IFRS 10. IFRS 3 and 10. IFRS 3 is business combinations. IFRS 10 is consolidated financial statement. IFRS 3 and IFRS 10 are also applicable. IFRS 3 is business combination. IFRS 10 is consolidated financial statement. They talked about the recognition of the goodwill. They talked about the recognition of the goodwill. IFRS 3, business combination will talk about recognition of goodwill. IFRS 3, preparation of consolidated financial statement will tell you how to prepare the consolidated financial statement. So what I want to do in 10 minutes is link those accounting standards from IFRS 16 to IAS 16 to IAS 2 to IAS 38 to IFRS 3 to IFRS 10. Those 6 accounting standards I wanted to link with each other. Because here I can clearly see IFRS 16 available on the lease liability. We have recorded the liability. I am sure property, plant and equipment will available there. So 120 showrooms, we don't own them legally. 120 showrooms, we don't own them legally. However, they are in my balance sheet. They are here. They are in my balance sheet. 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 Are you clear? Are you clear? Okay. So there are other classifications given here, other details, breakdown of revenue and operating profit. Can you see? Traditional toys is given 86% of the operational profit. Sorry. Traditional toys are giving 86% of the revenue and 79% of the operational profit. Oh my gosh. That means traditional toys are not very profitable. Because the video games and bicycles are giving 10 and 4% of the revenue, but 14 and 7% of the operating profit. Oh my gosh. Extremely careful now. Extremely careful. Can you look at the numbers again? I'm going to give you 1 minute to look at the numbers. See whether you understood my point. Then I'll explain it again. See whether you understand my point. You might understand when you look at the numbers. Look at the numbers and I'll explain it anyway in 1 minute. Go through it. Take 1 minute to go through. Then you will realize traditional toys are giving 86% of the revenue, but 79% of the operating profit. So traditional toys as a product category, not very profitable. Compared to bicycles, 4% of revenue, 7% of operating profit. Compared to video games, 10% of revenue, 14% of operating profit. So you keep your sales as it is, but your net profit will go up if you sell less traditional toys, more video games and more bicycles. Are you clear with my statement? You keep this revenue as it is, but you increase the bicycle sales and video game sales, you reduce the traditional toys. Sales is the same. You change the mix. If you reduce traditional toys and increase the sales of the toys of bicycles and the video games, your net profit margin will go up. Your revenue went up by 6.5%. Can you remember? Your revenue went up by 6.5%. That I don't care now. That I don't care now. Revenue going up. I say, I don't care. Go to hell. Tell me whether revenue went up from the traditional toys or bicycles or video games. If the revenue went up from the bicycles and video games, I love you because you are giving me more profit. So now is the right time to calculate product-wise profitability. That's the exercise that I do every month. My team does the exercise of product-wise profitability, present to all the senior management team. On our retail business, we look at the product-wise profitability very, very seriously. Unless you look at the product-wise profitability, you will die. Here, the management accounting in real world. That's why I say you need to have the experience to teach the subject. You need to now calculate product-wise profitability. For you to calculate product-wise profitability, you need one very important management accounting tool, which is you need very important management accounting tool for you to calculate product-wise profitability, which is what we call activity-based costing. Unless you have activity-based costing, you would not know how to allocate the common overhead into the final product. You would not know how to allocate common overhead to the final product. Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you agree activity-based costing is needed or you do disagree? Do you think activity-based costing is needed? Can I give an example? Okay, dolls. Take two toys, dolls. I'm just giving a number. Dolls net profit margin is 10%. Let's say gross profit margin. Take gross profit margin, buying price and selling price. Right? Everyone please concentrate. Buying price and selling price. Take the gross profit margin. Dolls gross profit margin is 12%. Bicycles gross profit margin is 14%. Which one is better? Quickly. Gross profit margin of dolls is 12%. Gross profit margin of bicycle is 14%. Which product is better? Which product you should be selling more? Quickly, quick answer. 12% for dolls, bicycles 14%. Which product you should be selling more? The answer is not bicycles. You need to calculate net profit using activity-based costing. Bicycles take a larger space for you to keep. A doll will need very smaller space for you to keep. Now you need to calculate when I keep a bicycle, I need a larger space, which means what? More rent for the bicycle, more electricity for the bicycle, more air conditioning for the bicycle. More air conditioning for the bicycle. Is it right or wrong? Everyone, tell me, is right, my argument is right or wrong? More air conditioning for the bicycle, right or wrong? My argument is right or wrong. If you tell me wrong, I'm happy. More air conditioning for the bicycle, argument is right. Because when I keep more bicycles, I need more space. When I have more space, I need more air conditioning. I need more air conditioning. So the bicycles, we need to do a common cost allocation for the bicycles. Then the net profit of the bicycles will come down. Net profit of the dolls will go up. So without activity-based costing, you can't take any decisions in this organization. You can't take any decisions in this organization without activity-based costing. Activity-based costing is absolutely dead critical. That's why I say practical management accounting has to be there for you to take a decisions in this organization. So, activity-based costing has to be done. Activity-based costing has to. We sell so many different type of toys. Bicycles will need a lot of space. Dolls will take very less space. Who cares? The gross margin is therefore. Who cares? The gross margin is therefore. So I want you to review these numbers. I have done many videos on these numbers. Then you will be able to see I've done enough on the F2 part. And you will see these are coming from, if you go through an annual report, I'm of course opening my annual report. What other annual report I can open? No, I can open only my annual report. If you go through an annual report and if you read the CEO's review, and if you go through the annual report, you will be able to see how these accounting standards are heavily used, right? How these accounting standards are heavily used. Now, go to the balance sheet. Sorry, where is the balance sheet? Go to the balance sheet. Then you will see. Where is that? Investment in subsidiary. That is IFRS 3 and IFRS 10. Investment in subsidiary IFRS 3 and IFRS 10. Oh, we have shown property, plant and equipment separately. Right to use assets separately. Because accounting standard tells me to show that separately. Lease assets capitalized should be shown separately. You can show it in a note, but it should have been shown. So property, plant and equipment, what's the accounting standard number for property, plant and equipment? What's the accounting standard number for property, plant and equipment? IAS 16, very good. What's the accounting standard number for right to use assets? What's the accounting standard number for right to use assets? IFRS not 17, IFRS 16. Old accounting standard was IAS 17. New accounting standard is IFRS 16. How to remember these names? Simple, right? I'll tell you what to do. Simple to remember. It takes about 2 hours for you to remember all the accounting standard names. Anyway, coming back. So, right of use is note number 6. Inventory, IAS 2. Inventory, IAS 2. Right? See the lease liability in my financials. Lease liability is note number 18, coming from IFRS 16. Lease asset is note number 6. Note number 6. So you can go to the note number 18 direct if you want. I don't know, depending on what you want. You can go to note number 18 direct to see the lease liability first of all. I'm happy. I directly went into lease liability. Note number 17, note number 18. Lease liability. At the commencement of the date of the lease, company recognize the lease liability, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you need to go there. Lease liability. Where is that? Here. These refer to the lease arrangement for retail showrooms based on IFRS 16. Retail showrooms. Retail showrooms are the ones that we had leased. Earlier, we had not capitalized, but with the new IFRS 16, we were pushed to capitalize that. Right? So you can go to the lease right of use as a note number 6. Note number 6 also, I'm sure you will be able to get a very decent understanding about it. Note number 6 also, I'm sure you will be able to get a very decent understanding about it. So where's note number 6? Note number 6, right to use assets. And here it's available, the additions, transfers done. And I'm sure there's a note given what these lease assets are, the rented showrooms, right? and the intangible assets. Which accounting standard is about intangible assets? What is the IAS accounting standard number for intangible assets? Which accounting standard about intangible assets? Can you see it's there hidden? I don't know whether you miss it. Intangible, I was about to miss it. Intangible assets, note number 8. Intangible assets, note number 8. Internally generated goodwill cannot be capitalized. Acquired goodwill can be capitalized. Only acquired goodwill can be capitalized. This is my financial statement, my company. Intangible asset, can you see? Company software. Oh, goodwill on consolidation. Brand name. Goodwill on consolidation. Very clearly says this goodwill arrived from a consolidation. The brand value arrived from the consolidation. This is my update on the pre-seed. Now this is my update on the pre-seed, right?